And please note that this webinar is being recorded and you will get a copy of the recording and the slides towards the end of today. Just before we start, I'd like to just remind everybody that we do send out a quick short survey at the end of today's webinar, and we'd really appreciate any feedback. So that's all from me. I will pass over to Brianna to get things started today.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Jane. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Get a Move On with Video. I'm very excited to share this amazing content with you. A little bit about myself first, just so that you know who's talking to you. My name is Bree. I run Pink Cow Social, which is a social media marketing agency. We do all things from social media management to courses and teaching not-for-profits and people how to use their social media. As you will know, the world of social media is constantly changing. There are always new things evolving, particularly in the world of video, as we have seen with the recent inclusion of Reels on Instagram. So I'm hoping today that it will give you a bit more of an understanding as to obviously how to use video. And I'm going to throw out a little challenge to you throughout the PowerPoint presentation today. So first things first, I'd love you to put in the chat your name and where you're from, just so that I can have a bit of an understanding, obviously, as to the type of people that we have today, and so that I can have a little bit of a look at your socials, obviously, post-course and post-PowerPoint today. I like to obviously just see what you've been up to and what you're doing in terms of your socials. So if you can put that in the chat, that would be fabulous. Thank you so much. So obviously, as we move through, I really just want to reiterate the importance of video. So we have seen a huge shift in obviously a lot of people using just plain static imagery to obviously now using video. We know that 90% of web consumers say that a video helps them make a decision when it comes to actually buying a product or service. Now, what that means is that video has the ability to really connect with people on a emotional level. Sometimes when you use a static image, it doesn't quite have the ability to do that. And generally speaking, you've kind of got to read a long caption to really get immersed in that emotion. Whereas video is able to kind of encapsulate that quite easily. Online marketing is now geared towards video, as I mentioned, and the algorithms across the platforms are obviously prioritizing this. We have seen that Instagram has recently brought out a new feature called Instagram Reels, which is getting really highly prioritized by the algorithm. And I will talk about that a little bit later. But what we're finding is that it has its own storage element on the Instagram platform, which means that Instagram are really pushing and really connecting very hard with their users to kind of go, video is where it's at. I'm not saying use the whole feed on Instagram or use your whole kind of timeline on Facebook or LinkedIn and fill it with video, but I'm saying you do need to have an important strategy that incorporates video for your business. Now, video can mean a variety of things, which I'll talk about a little bit later, but it is important that you do understand that it does require a separate strategy from just the static images that you might be posting of an event that you've raised money for, or like a membership benefit or something along those lines. So it's really important that you understand that it does need a different marketing strategy. Now, these are some questions that I would love you to answer. Obviously, if you can, that would be amazing. If not, no problems at all. I would love to know how many times in the last 9 posts on either Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, whatever your preference is for platforms, that you have used a video. Then I want to know what stops you from creating a video. Is it time? Are you scared of putting your face on video? And then what is your mindset when you watch other videos? So if you're looking, for instance, at competitors or something like that, or you're looking at other industry associations, what is your mindset and how do you feel when you specifically go and watch other people's videos? So I'll give you just a little bit of time just to quickly jot that down in the chat. I'd love to obviously, particularly the number of times that you have used video in your last 9 posts on either Instagram, Facebook or LinkedIn. So if you can just jot that down, that would be amazing. I'll give you just a few moments to do so. And then obviously what stops you from creating a video as well. So happy for you just to write some numbers in there, that's fine. And the reason I'm asking you to do this is because I really want you to sit back and go, wow, in the last 9 posts, all I've done is static images. Or all I've done is tiles that have text on them. Or all I've done is testimonial tiles. Or all I've done is quote tiles. So really important again that we understand what we've done and sit there and think, how is this going to resonate with my audience? Like, is it likely that, you know, they're going to really be, I suppose, receptive to just 9 tiles that are fully testimonials or 9 tiles that are fully talking about membership benefits or something like that? Possibly not. And that's where I want to see, obviously, how you're going in terms of using video. Now, I'm just trying to see here. Yeah, cool. Great. Enjoy short videos. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. So the reason that, yeah. All right, so we're getting people that are kind of saying that they want obviously their video to look professional, which is great. Yeah, don't know how. Fabulous. We'll get you there. Great. Okay, awesome. Fabulous. So what I want to do is, and today we're going to go through some of the ways that you can create videos, some of the content suggestions and ways that you can incorporate them into your business. But I'm really just wanting to show you the importance of video. As I'm sure you know, getting people to put their face on video can be a really tough thing. Getting somebody to actually take a video can be a really tough thing. And also getting management on board with the fact that video is important for your brand can also be tough. I've been there, I've worked for non-for-profits before, and I do a few social media templates and things for other not-for-profits. So I totally understand the dilemma and the time factor that you have when it comes to creating videos. But if I was to say to you, would you prefer to be creating content that is scroll stopping and actually have people interact and engage with you and it take an hour, or would you prefer to take maybe 30 minutes, create 9 posts and not have content that's engaging? We know that the algorithm across the platforms is likely to prioritize content or posts that have engagement. So engagement is likes, comments, saves, and shares. So if your content is not doing that, people have no reason to see your posts. There's no real benefit for them to interact with your post, and there's no real benefit for them to share, save, comment, or like your post. If you are doing something that is a little bit different, like a video or like a reel or like a story or something like that, that is encouraging engagement, you have a higher chance of being seen more regularly by your target market and the right people who are going to connect with your brand. So let's have a bit of a look at this. 61% of marketers see video as a very important or extremely important part of their marketing strategy. What I love here is the quote here that says 74% of marketers say video has a better return on investment than static imagery. Now, I want you to have a think about that. And again, this is all about changing the mindset and understanding that video really can tap into people's emotions. It can tap into really building a connection that sometimes imagery can't always capture. 65% of executives who watch work-related videos visit the business's website afterwards. Now, we know that a lot of the time social media posts are there to generate leads, okay? Of course, we want that end goal of sales, but that's not always possible. So we want our posts to build connection and to foster a community and nurture people along that sales journey and that sales funnel with the goal of leads, but also the eventual goal of sales. And we might often send people to our website. So if 65% of executives who watch work-related videos visit the website afterwards, that's a great strong number. So if your videos are enticing enough, you're going to get really good eyes on your site, which is going to increase your analytics for your website. And 64% of people who visit a business's website are likely to buy their product after watching a video. So again, product, service, whatever it might be, that's quite a good strong number to keep in mind. So here are the video types that I'm going to be roughly talking about today in terms of obviously how you can show up. Now, I know that I'm not necessarily talking to individual business owners, so it might be hard, like you're not obviously going to be able to just show up and be present on social media all the time in the form of stories like what I might be able to do, being the business owner. You're generally representing an organisation. But there are still ways that you can go about doing this. So Instagram Live, we're going to talk about Instagram Reels, stories across both platforms, being Facebook and Instagram, and a little bit of LinkedIn, videos on your feed, and then Facebook Live. So let's kick it off with live video. So did you know that live video accounts for almost 50% of all mobile traffic? So what we're seeing here is live videos. So this can be done on obviously Instagram and Facebook, and it does have the ability to do it on LinkedIn. It's a little bit more of a difficult process. Last time I checked, you had to actually request this specific feature. But it is something that changes the way that people communicate. What I love about live video, and this is going to sound extremely strange, is that it will save you time and you will get content ideas and suggestions from it. What I mean by that is, when you do a live video, people are able to interact with you, just like what we're doing now, okay? So you can go live on Instagram, you can go live on Facebook, and people can ask questions as you're progressing through the video. So you might be talking, they can literally send you a question and you can address it then and there. So no real backwards and forwards with emails, no real backwards and forwards with direct messages or comments. You are able to actually address their question or their concern then and there. This might be something that you might specifically use around maybe membership renewals, or if you're launching a new product or service, or you've got a new staff member or something like that, where people can actually interact with somebody. And that's what is great about social media. It's that whole two-way communication that we really need to foster and really need to enforce. So again, this is something that can be done as a time-saving technique, because once you get those questions, you can then use that to then create some social media posts, or use it as items for content for newsletters, or use it as, I suppose, a frequently asked questions list that you can put on your website. There's a whole variety of ways that you can use the content that comes from live video and repurpose it. So you are actually saving time. So as I mentioned, Instagram Live, obviously the whole goal, and same with Facebook Live, is to have people communicate with you. It's live, it's raw, it's authentic. You are meant to potentially occasionally slip up your words and have a sip of water or something like that. The whole point is that you are showing up authentically, you are showing up live. Now, there's not going to be people in the organisation that are always going to jump at this chance. All right, some people are going to be hesitant to show their face. So pick the right people in your organisation that are going to be able to actually do this, that are going to be able to sit there, answer questions off the cuff, represent the organisation. You might want to prepare them earlier, obviously, with some potential questions or facts or figures that they might be able to incorporate or address. But it is a fabulous tool for people to get access to people within your organisation. Facebook Live, again, same thing. Facebook Live videos receive 6 times more engagement than standard videos on Facebook. So again, it's the same principle. You're turning up, you're live, you're authentic. People are asking you questions, and they are really wanting you to become engaged in what it is that you're talking about. And what is great about this is, again, it's fostering that two-way communication between you and your audience. And that is what's fabulous. So I want you to now have a bit of a think. I'm more than happy for you to write it down in the questions box or the chat feature. How could you use live video in your marketing? So have a bit of a think about it based off, obviously, some of the content suggestions that I've given you. Have a bit of a think about how you could use live video in your marketing. And just write it down for me, as I said, in the chat feature, I think it is here. How you could do it. Could you do it in the lead up to membership? Could you ask the president? Could every third Friday be, ask the CEO a question, or you could introduce a staff member or something along those lines. Let me know in the question box what your thoughts are. I'll just give you a few minutes to just jot some things down there. And as I said, it's definitely something that is coming alive in terms of social media, and it is gaining a lot of traction. We can see there previously that it's 6 times more effective than normal videos on Facebook. So that's a huge testament to how much it's obviously growing and exactly what impact that it can have on the business. Okay, I might just give you one more minute to just have a bit of write down of some things. Obviously, I want this to be a very useful webinar so that you can actually go and put these things into action. That's obviously what I'm wanting. I don't want you just to kind of read this or listen and then nothing happens. So I'm trying to obviously make it as relevant to your business as I can. And obviously by giving you some content suggestions, you'll be able to put that into play. Alrighty, so here are some other ideas of how you can use live videos. So you might do it when you're at an event. So you might have some fundraisers. You might be able to obviously show us some behind the scenes live, obviously at a product launch as well, if you're launching a product, or let's say that you are wanting to show us your membership department that are working hard in the lead up to renewals. Again, the whole point is that you are taking us backstage. We are getting that kind of live interaction that we wouldn't normally get. And remember, we want to encourage people to join us and follow us on social media. And if they're not getting anything different than what they could get in a magazine or a newsletter, then there's no real benefit or incentive for them to continue to follow us. So make sure that what the, I suppose, informational content that you're sharing is of value and relevance to your audience. All right. Stories. Now, this is super exciting. I just am into day 4 of a day 5 story challenge that I'm running with my audience. So if you're not following me on social media, jump on, because I do have some amazing tips and tricks that I can absolutely share with you. This is what I love doing, so I want to be able to help you. Stories is an amazing tool to use. So over 500 million people are using Instagram stories daily. All right, so this is a fabulous tool. When I was running the socials at a not-for-profit, I was constantly going behind the scenes, sharing event information, showing staff. Every time we would have a magazine be printed, I would definitely show the delivery of that, especially when we presented it to the CEO. If there were, you know, I'd have fun tools like boomerangs, which is a tool that you can use in stories. I would really give this a bit more of a personality than what I obviously would on the feed. A lot of people have that feeling that the feed needs to be perfectly curated, have to be professional, always has to be on brand, whereas stories last for 24 hours and you have that ability to be a little bit more cheeky, a little bit more fun, and demonstrate things that are happening like today that your audience wouldn't know. So finding a staff member, taking a photo or a video and finding 2 quick facts about them, like, hi, this is Marie. You know, Marie's our receptionist. She answers the phone. She's got 3 cats, 2 kids, and she's been at this organisation for 7 years. You know, she's a lovely person that you speak to at the end of the phone. All right, just those type of things are ways to help build connection, as I said, foster that community, and build advocates for your brand. Remember, it's all the little things. And as people, we relate, we respond, and we buy from people. So we don't necessarily want that automated, kind of regular, boring, professional spiel across every bit of our marketing. Your newsletter, your email, and all of that is great. But with stories and with your social media, have a bit of fun. Show the personality behind the brand. And that is what stories is about. So as I mentioned, it lasts for 24 hours, which is fabulous because it is kind of posting what's relevant today, and then obviously kind of after 24 hours it disappears. So it's a great way to connect and show your face to your audience. You educate, inform, and encourage your audience to do things. So what you'll find is there are some fabulous tools in Stickers on particularly Instagram and Facebook, where you can encourage people to ask a question. You can get them to answer a poll, so yes or no. You can get them to answer a quiz. And this is a fabulous way to, again, drum up engagement. And as we know, engagement is something that, again, really is something that Instagram goes, hey, this account's really focusing on engagement. They're really trying to engage with their audience. We're going to show more of this, or we're going to show more of this. That is why you need to be constantly engaging with your audience on stories. It is a fabulous tool for building relationships and generating leads. I get most of my business from social media. I know that that may sound obvious because I'm a social media person, but you think about all the other avenues that you could use: newsletters, public speaking, Google ads, Facebook ads, all of that. I'm talking organic reach is where I get my audience and my clients from, because I'm showing up on a variety of platforms using a variety of features. And these are all features that are obviously available to you as well. So have a think now about how you could use stories in your organization. I'm going to give you a few minutes to have a think. Obviously, the thing to remember is that stories can be a photo that you take, or it can be 15-second interval videos. All right, so again, something that is a little bit different and a really clever way to show behind the scenes, as I mentioned earlier, a little bit like Instagram Live. So I'll give you maybe like 2 minutes or something just to write down how you feel that you could use stories for your business. Okay, might be 1 more minute. Just jot some things down that you can use stories and the type of ways. Obviously, you don't have to get super creative now. Okay, so again, a really clever way. This is something that doesn't take a huge amount of time, which I think is something that a lot of people say social media does, that it takes a lot of time. Again, this is something that it is not meant to be perfect. It is meant to be fun. It is meant to be interactive. Its ability to be on brand is great. You can absolutely create some branded templates in Canva, but it is just about showing something different than your feed. And I think that that's something that's really, really exciting. And I've just written down some other suggestions as well. So for stories, you can also do things like, I mentioned magazine release, staff interviews, new staff, so introducing new staff. If you are also at events, you can also show photos or videos of kind of like staff working. You could obviously zoom in on, you know, like your graphic designer mocking up a magazine. You could also do something along the lines of, if you've got a team meeting, staff meeting, or you've got people that are doing training. These are all the things that show your audience that you are still doing things that are, you know, relevant, but again, different. So as I said, I was running a 5-day story challenge on my social media. And I had people that were experimenting with different tools and features, and they were tagging me in there just to show me that they were, you know, playing around with it. Take a video or take a photo of you doing a social media training. Why? Because you can then show your audience that you are trying to find ways that are relevant to communicate with a growing demand of people that are on social media. There is absolutely no reason why you can't do something like this. Take a photo, tag me, tag Connecting Up or whatever it might be, tag other people that you want to tag. But these are all effective ways that you can actually go and use stories. So that's another way. And as I said, I'm just writing down some things that I'll talk about a little bit later for you to give you some other content suggestions. So tell us about also your business. So again, dependent upon the role that you have in the business, you might be able to share some results or testimonials. So if people have felt really supported by your organisation, they can obviously share that information as a testimonial. How do you solve the pain point of your customer? So are you providing support? Are you helping them from a mentoring perspective? Are you helping with CPD? What is it exactly that you're doing? And, you know, can you take information from courses that you've run? Can you take photos of CPD courses that you've potentially either run or attended? Was your CEO at a speaking event or something like that? These are all things that you can use for stories. So, Igtv. Now, this is something that, again, is a tool that is for more, let's say, longer form videos. So what you do is you upload a video. It will put a preview on your feed, and then you might have seen it previously if you've been watching a video. It might say continue watching, and you'll have to press continue watching to actually go and continue watching the longer form video. This is great. For instance, if you have a membership video, if you have a video with a member who is sharing their story or their wins or something inspiring, or you're interviewing again a staff member that is more than kind of, let's say, 2-3 minutes, this is something that, again, you can go, I'm going to load this up. We know that it creates emotion. We know that it connects with our audience. And the best thing is, again, that people can then see a little snippet of it on your Instagram feed, and then they can click show watching or continue watching for further information on how to actually watch the whole content. The reason we like this, and a lot of people love this, is that it again gives you the option to have that snippet on your feed so people can still see that you're actively posting videos, which is what we want. And then obviously it gives them the prompt to watch more. So if they obviously do that, that's a real, I suppose, testament to the information that you're putting in that video. And you will be able to obviously see by comments on your video whether or not people are liking the type of content that you're putting out there. So if it's, for instance, an awareness piece as well, maybe it might be, you know, the amount of sugar in soft drink, or how to floss, or how to do something like that, or how to reduce this type of thing. These are all things that you can use as awareness type videos, put them on Instagram TV, and then repurpose them on other platforms as well. So I hope that is obviously helpful in terms of Instagram TV. Obviously, keep writing questions. As Jane mentioned, happy to go through them, and I'll probably allow about 15 minutes for questions at the end. So, Instagram Reels. This is a new thing that Instagram has recently launched. As I mentioned, it's just been absolutely prioritised by Instagram at the moment because they are short form videos. Currently, they're 15 or 30 seconds, but there is talk about Instagram making them 60 seconds. And the goal here is that they're a really quick way to give tips. They do have a specialized tab on Instagram, as I mentioned, which you can access from your profile page. You won't see the tab if you've never promoted or posted a reel before, but when you go to other people's pages or profiles, you'll be able to see that there. It gives you the ability to add filter, add effects, add text. You might see, like my recent one, I kind of had like animation. So I had my hand kind of moving and I had text appearing. It's a little bit more fun. It is great, again, for tips and tricks. It's great for introducing staff or introducing a particular event. Some people literally that are small business owners have gone and taken photos of like them walking along the beach of a morning with a coffee and put it up as a reel. So it doesn't always have to show a face. It doesn't always have to be necessarily business related. It could be, as I said, let's say that one of your staff members is having a birthday and you're celebrating it, you could capture that on reels and then, say, wish Amy a happy birthday or something like that below, or, what's your favorite cake or something like that. These are all things that help with your engagement, and Instagram Reels, as I mentioned, is certainly something that is gaining traction. What I want to mention with Instagram Reels, a client of mine posted a reel, I'm going to say maybe like 4 weeks ago. They got traction very quickly. So they hit about the 3,000 mark, I think it was, maybe within 2 or 3 days. I'm talking about 3,000 views of that actual reel. Then it kind of staggered and it kind of plummeted. So after about that week mark, nothing was really happening anymore with the reel. All of a sudden, around the day 10 mark, and this is not the same for everybody, but around the day 10 mark, all of a sudden, again, that reel got traction. Long story short, that reel, I think, now sits at about 51,000 views. And again, this was a client. They were having a bit of fun with what they posted. It's not an awareness piece. It was purely posted up for a bit of theatre. And again, 51,000 views. Now, there's not anything that I could currently say to you that I have put on my feed on any platform that has received 51,000 views. So again, if you can think of ways to create short form video content, Instagram Reels is the way to do it. So again, my little question to you is, and have a bit of a think about this. I might only give you a minute to write this down, but think of ways that you could potentially use Reels in your business. What are some really quick, short, 15, 30-second ways that you could incorporate Reels into your business? Now, Reels is only on Instagram. So if you don't have an Instagram page, why? First question. But think about how you can use it, obviously, on Instagram, and feel free to drop it in the chat so that I can go and have a look at it a little bit later. So I'll give you about a minute just to write some things down. And I think the other thing to remember is that a lot of people get scared with video. They think that obviously, it has to be perfect, it always has to be planned. And I'm not saying that it doesn't, but with things like stories and other videos, you have the time to go back and make those changes. So if you've been recording, with the use of editing apps, you don't necessarily have to redo that whole video. You can just obviously do the bit that you may have made a mistake or an error with. So again, something just to have a think about. It does not have to be like a 40-minute video. Keep it short, keep it sharp, keep your audience interested as well. So here are some other ways that you can do some reels. So product unpackaging. So let's just say that you have received some merchandise that you are going to promote or use to promote at an event. What a fabulous thing to do, like show us the box that you get, have someone unpack it, zoom in on the merchandise and say something like, we're super excited to be able to bring this merchandise to this event. Come and see us at stand such and such to get your free merchandise. Before and afters, maybe you might take a photo of edits of the magazine or something like that, and then the after might be the actual printed version, or before set up at an exhibition, after the after photo. So again, these are all ways, and I'm going to give you some apps shortly that will show you that you can do that. You can add transitions, you can have a lot of fun with Instagram Reels. And the one thing that they do is they actually, as I said to you, have a set spot on Instagram the house, there's a little Reels tab that it's housed in, but you can also share that to your stories and to your Instagram feed. So it does have the ability to be shared across 3 different locations, which also helps with your engagement. So this is something that you're going to want to take a little bit of a look at, in particular looking at the app that you can use for your videos. InShot is one of my absolute favorites. It has just, yeah, great ability to be able to do a whole lot of things, you know, edit videos, add captions, add music. We know that 85% of videos are generally listened to with the sound off, which means that you need to think about, especially if people are traveling, how you caption that effectively. Screen recording on your iPhone as well is a fabulous thing. So there is a screen recording option that you can use. And again, you can actually kind of record something that's happening on your actual screen. So let's just say that you wanted to record, you know, a photo or a video of something else that you've taken. You can screen record it, and you can even do a demonstration. So you might want to show people how they can jump onto your website from their phone. All right, so you could just screen record it and actually go and show the process and the steps so they could get to your website or a particular membership section on your website, all using screen recording on your iPhone. So they are fabulous tools. As I said, I use InShot daily, particularly when it comes to Reels. So here are some other websites that you can use to create videos. One of my favorites is Content Samurai, which I believe has just recently been renamed as Vidnami. It is a fabulous tool to create videos, and you can obviously do captions and that there as well. Canva, you can now create some videos with some animations as well. And then there's one called Doodly. Now, Doodly is kind of like that cartoon style. I have one on my Instagram feed, so you can jump on and have a look at that. But it is, yeah, a little bit more kind of like a comic type character, characterized video. It's not so much, you know, like those kind of corporate presentation style stock photos. It is more a little bit more creative. Could be something fun that you share though, if it's something that you know, you might even make it a competition. You might even get throw it out there for your members to come up with, you know, a bit of a dialogue for your business, and then incorporate that with the use of the Doodly website. And that's something that obviously you can have a think about as well. Here is something that I like to think about in terms of when I'm going to plan my video. Now, a lot of the time, I don't necessarily plan my video. And what I mean by that is, with stories, it's not necessarily meant to be planned. If you're doing something like an Instagram Live or a Facebook Live or something like that, that's generally when I sit there and go, okay, well, what's my goal? What location am I going to be at? You know, what outfit am I wearing? Am I wearing more than one? And what I mean by that is, if you are going to do Reels, you might want to wear you know, a few different outfits, and you can kind of make changes in InShot so that it does different transitions or something like that for you. Or if you allow yourself maybe an hour, you might go to 2 different locations, have the same pants on but change the top so that it looks like you've recorded the videos on 2 different days. Whereas you've actually recorded it on one day, but you can then have 2 different types of videos. What's the light like? You know, we're always kind of looking for natural light. That is important. What will I be talking about? What's the length of the video? Am I going to do stories, which is kind of 15-second intervals? Am I going to do Instagram TV, which is that little bit longer? Am I going to do an Instagram Live, where I'm going to allow people to just kind of comment and communicate back and forwards with me? What exactly am I going to do? And I think the important thing to remember is, what's your goal? Like, what is your goal of video? For me, my goal is that it encourages comment and conversation. It is a different way of communicating with people, but I love sharing what I'm doing throughout the day with my audience, because a lot of the time they then get a bit of an understanding as to who I am and why I'm different to work with over other social media managers. And I think that that's important, particularly in this field when everybody thinks that they know social media. You know, someone has a personal Facebook account and they think that they understand Facebook. It's important for me to show a point of difference and differentiate myself from other companies. And when you think about all the different, I suppose, like associations and other organisations out there, think about what your point of difference is and think about how you can convey that in your social media. And that's something that, again, I always think of when I am doing video. I think that is really, really important. So just a little last minute thing before I open it up to questions, Jane. I am running an 8-week social media course, and I wanted to share it with you because it is something that is the first time that I'm doing it. It sold out, the first round sold out in a matter of days, which is super exciting. But I am drawing on all of my experience from all the different industries that I've worked in. So corporate, not-for-profit, and all the experience of the different clients that I've worked with to create an 8-week strategy course for your social media. So if you are ready to generate leads and take time back in your day, then kind of going down the social media rabbit hole, I would love to chat to you about this. And as I said, I'm kind of presenting this to you because I've probably been in the position that you're in where you might have either lots of content and you're just not sure what to do with it, or you don't feel like you have a lot of content, but you're creative, but you just don't know what the next steps are. So if you want your audience to take note of what you're posting, if you want that kind of conversation happening in your direct messages, if you want notifications kind of binging and zinging because people are engaging with your content, then I would love to help you with that. I'd obviously love to have a bit of a chat to you, and I talk about some amazing modules here, and I'll show you just an overview of what they encompass. So we talk about your audience, what your offerings are, content, how to engage effectively, hashtags, insights, and it's just a fabulous tool to kind of have to actually plan out your social media. So I've got 2 different packages available, which I'll leave on the screen for you to have a bit of a look at. But we kick off on the 24th of May, which is exciting. And obviously each week we have a Zoom call, so any questions can be answered and you get lifetime access. So if it's something that you want to have a bit of a think about and you sit there and go, oh, now's not the right time, this price won't be like this again, because obviously this is the first time or second time it's been launched, but you will get lifetime access to the content. So just keep that in mind. But Jane, thank you so much for the opportunity to present today. I hope people have found it successful for them in terms of thinking of ways that they can obviously change their social media, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Lovely, thank you very much, Brianna. I think everybody's learnt a lot. Just saw one question here from Tammy asking if stories can be scheduled like other posts.
Okay, so yes and no. So stories can be scheduled with some external scheduling tools. Now, I would schedule only branded type posts, and what I mean by that is that when you are doing stories, the whole point is that they are kind of off the cuff, kind of authentic, on the go type situations. If you have set branded templates that you have created in Canva, like, you know, here's why you should join us, or here's why you should do that or do that, that does have the ability to be scheduled, but it depends on the third-party tool that you're using. So what tool is Tammy, I think it was, what tool are you using to schedule your posts?
Tammy, if you'd like to get your question, just type that into the questions box. I know that you can schedule them on later. I think I've used that before for stories. I'm sure there's some other ones as well.
Yeah, there are. So just let me know when it comes up, because I'm having trouble seeing the questions correctly in the question box. But there are definitely tools out there that will allow you to do that. And I think later can do them. I use a tool called Sched Social, and that allows you to schedule stories. As I said, when I'm doing my clients' socials, I will only schedule kind of like branded type content. Because if they get content that's you know, user generated, or they've got something that's kind of been brought to my attention, like they've got someone tag them in something, or someone, you know, share some exciting results or whatever, I like to share that then and there, rather than kind of wait a day or wait 2 days to share that information. So where possible, try and have a really kind of ad hoc approach to stories. And what I mean by ad hoc is you should be posting a decent amount of stories kind of each day, minimum of 3 to 4 each day, but have an ad hoc approach in terms of when you're out and about or when you're in the office, take photos. Don't necessarily go, okay, this is what I'm going to have photos of today for stories and I'm going to schedule it, because sometimes you can tell that, and from an audience perspective, it just looks a little bit too regimented. And stories are meant to be a little bit more kind of fun and off the cuff. So that's kind of my advice surrounding scheduling.
Yeah, Tammy is using Creator Studio.
Okay, so I believe that there was an announcement recently saying that I think Creator Studio was looking at potentially enabling the scheduling of stories. I don't think it's out yet, but I would definitely keep an eye out on it. Sometimes obviously when they have announcements and things like that, it can take a while to come into effect, but there was talk, I'm sure, of Facebook allowing the ability to schedule stories. I don't know if that was across Facebook and Instagram or just Facebook, but yeah, that's something that obviously just have a bit of a look into that, but there was definitely an announcement about scheduling stories recently.
Lovely. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Brianna. I can't see any more questions coming in at the moment, but if anybody does have any in the next few minutes, do get them in. And once again, you'll be receiving a copy of this recording and the slides towards the end of today. And we'll also include Brianna's contact details and our contact details. If you have any questions that you think of anything in the next few days, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. And thanks once again for the presentation, Brianna, and thank you everybody for joining us today. Hope you've learned a lot. And if everybody could just take a couple of seconds to fill in the survey, that'd be really appreciated. We'd love to have your feedback. And if you have any suggestions of any webinars you'd like to attend in the future, please put those in as well. So thanks everybody and have a great day. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jane. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.